Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to go through the Forex market wrap. We're going to go through the currency strengths and weaknesses of the week, essentially what's kind of happened, and first of all I'm just going to show you my heat map. This is something that I've developed myself. It allows me to kind of focus on specific pairs. You may have seen it before in the past, but essentially what we were focusing on was a lot of CAD weakness this week, also a little bit of a gain in the US dollar. Now, didn't quite see that gain in the dollar that we really wanted to see, and you can see that by how the major currency pairs have shaped up here in regards to the fact that we were looking for those bullish days on the dollar index, and we had maybe one, possibly two potential days of bullishness, and the rest have been pretty weak. We can see that from even euro standpoint. We had a couple of days here where the dollar was a little bit stronger than the euro. Pound completely wiped the floor with the US dollar, as well as the Kiwi dollar. So we were looking for some breakdowns, especially on Aussie dollar. We looked at a breakdown on Aussie, which we're still in at the moment. But again, you know, we looked at it after we saw this kind of potential reversal day setting up, and unfortunately for us, the market's just kind of hovered. It hasn't really followed through yet with what we really want to see, but other markets played out really well. So Aussie Yen, for instance, was on my list to go short this week. It did very well. Cad Swiss and Cad Yen also, yen pairs getting strong, and this is where, you know, we looked at some other pairs, and we looked at Kiwi Cad in particular as a market that we could continue to buy. Unfortunately for us, it didn't trigger on the pullback we were looking for, but if you look at the days, it's just continued to be bullish back up into this key resistance zone that we've pointed out at the start of the week in the Forex market outlook. You know, looking at a weekly nice bullish move, looking at the 4 hour, just hasn't quite give us what we particularly wanted to see, which was a little bit of a pullback into here. Didn't get that move in particular. The market did come back down and retest an area of support and rallied again, but didn't quite get that entry that we were specifically looking for. But other than that, the 4 hour trend did continue to the upside. If you look at the hourly, it would give you some really nice trend opportunities off of the averages, even down on sort of the 15-minute time frame. You'd have had some good moves off the averages as well. So Kiwi Cad, very much one that we wanted to watch this week, and performed very much as the strength and weakness suggested. Aussie Yen also broken down pretty nicely as well. If you were stuck to kind of the 4 hour time frames here, there was a kind of particularly great entry just off of these lows through there, and if you again kind of look to the lower time frame for an entry, there was some decent shorting opportunities this week. Especially I quite like this move in here where we had this almost head and shoulders pattern on the 15-minute time frame, and price dropped to the downside there. That was a pretty great move, but other than that, Aussie Yen looking to drop to the downside, and that kind of coincides with some bearishness that we have been seeing on the stock markets lately. Other than that, we were looking for that dollar buy, as we said. So we looked at last night maybe a break of this low on pound. That hasn't followed through, so I'm just going to delete that order now. It's pointless having that over the weekend. Aussie was one that we looked at as well. It didn't quite work out the way I was expecting it to, in terms of we had this breakdown here. I was expecting this to reject and push to the downside, but obviously the markets are random. They're not going to do what we want it to do, but they're going to, you know, play out how they want to play out, and the market did kind of move a little bit higher. Still kind of heading in the right direction though, so I'm still happy to sort of hold this. The daily time frame still looks really good to me for some downside, so happy with that one. Dollar Swiss, again, just about coming into that area. You know, we were speaking about this level yesterday, and that it could react around here. It looks like it has, so still sitting in this one, unfortunately. See if we can, just really need to see that dollar kind of give us a real good push. Same with dollar Cad. Still kind of hovering in this area, waiting for that breakout to the upside, still waiting for that 133 level to be tested. So keep an eye on this. I think the dollar is going to make its move. We just need to be super patient with it and see if we can. But Cad weakness was the call this week, really. And you know, it has performed pretty well. I mean, even if we take into consideration Cad Yen, for instance, if you did look at that market, if I just bring Cad Yen in, let me just try and find it on the side. Here we go. So even if we look at Cad Yen this week, look at that downside, really good downside there. 4-hour trend, very nice on this week. Market making very nice lower lows and lower highs, putting back into key areas of structure just through there, continuing its move down. So Cad Yen looks very bearish if we were to go to a weekly, expecting that to continue and follow through as well. So keep an eye on this one. We'll look at obviously that in the Forex market outlook. Hope to see you in that video as well. Hope to see you watching that one as well. Hope you've had a great week trading. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll speak to you very soon.